Hello, everybody. It's the Scary Snobs for our fourth week in a row. I can't wait to talk to Aaron. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm great. How about yourself, man? How about yourself?
Dude, I couldn't be any happier. So, Thursday, I woke up. Well, not woke up. Thursday, I clocked off work. I heard that the Scream 6 reactions were in on Twitter. Like, critics can't review it yet, but they were allowed to post their social media reactions. So I jumped on Twitter and I'm scrolling through the Scream. And man, it's all positive. Everything I saw on social media was positive, and that's not good when you're already excited for something to have to wait another week after you see all this awesome positive buzz. And I can't wait. They're saying it's the first Scream movie to be almost as good as the original. Like they said, it's the best one since the original, and I can't wait. I heard it's got a little bit more refresh to it, like they're trying some new things. So that just, man, I was amped. I couldn't wait. I'm like, oh, how much longer do I have? And then Three Geeks Podcast, we started a Twitter campaign to get Jesse Camacho into Scream 6. Jesse Camacho is from Lock and Key, and he was in Working Moms. So we started this campaign. We started the hashtag. It's not us. I mean, we didn't make it happen, but we started the thing that led to it happening, because Jesse messaged me on Friday, because he's a huge Scream fan, so we were geeking out a little bit. And I'm like, he's like, keep an eye on me for Scream. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, man, thank you for starting this. And I'm like, oh my God, like this dude's gonna be in the movie. So our agreement was if he got in the movie, he'd come on and talk to me about the experience of working on a Scream franchise. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited.
That's first of all, I want to say congratulations to him and congratulations to you guys, because that's awesome, man. And don't take any credit away from yourselves, because you got the idea out there. You put the energy out there at the very least. You guys put the energy out there. You put the idea out there and all that, and it just kept. Sometimes that's just how things happen, and it's just enough fans are like, hey, we would love to see so and so in this movie or whatever, and the right people see it for like, hey, this is what the fans want. Let's do that. Let's do it for them. So that's dope. As far as Scream 6 coming out next weekend, I am gonna go see it for sure.
We need to talk about it on Sunday's show.
As far as excitement, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Scream, but it is a horror movie, so I'm, going to see another horror movie in theaters. That's always a plus, I guess you could say. If you like the movie or not, it's always a plus, because we've discussed this before. The best way to watch the best way to watch movies in general is on a big ass screen. And
oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, dude, this isn't horror related, but I want to talk to you about it for a second. So I did a double feature yesterday. I went and saw Creed 3, which is awesome. I'm not going to talk about it here, but go check it out. And then the movie I followed it up with, I mean, literally, I left one theater and walked into the other as it was starting. Cocaine Bear. Everything you said about Cocaine Bear is 1000% right. Dude, it's one of the funniest and goriest movies I've seen. Like, it was so good. They go places you never think they'd go.
And what makes it so great? Like, all right, let me ask you this: was there a good amount of people in the theater when you went to go see it? Or
yes, it was pretty full.
And like I told you last time, when I'm going to go see it last weekend, I went that Friday with my wife. There was at least 30 people in the theater, if not more. And as a matter of fact, what I didn't say was we were supposed to go that Thursday night before, which was just a crappy day throughout, on and off. And so the theater we go up to, it's like 5 minutes from our house, if that. We go there, we're getting our before we even bought the tickets, I was like, is there a lot of people in Cocaine Bear? And they happen to be showing it in like their smallest theater. And the guy was like, yeah, it holds about 50 people, and there's already about 20, 25 people in there. I was like, all right, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll come back tomorrow, because the next night it was going to be in the bigger theaters or whatever. And so 20, 25 people, let's say, that's just from then. That's before the movie even starts. Who knows how many more people piled in there? Let's just say they maxed out at 30 to 35. I went Friday, there was about the same amount of people in the bigger theater, about 30 to 35. I went Saturday, and again, about 30 to 35 people, which I just think is, you're saying about the same, was about full on yours too. And what I like about, what I love about that is a movie like that. Like, and again, I said this on my show Thursday, because we reviewed it. I feel like Terrifier 2 I'm not gonna say it's the only indie horror movie that came out ever, because I'm not gonna act like I know the history of it, but just from last year, Terrifier 2, Barbarian did a huge thing for indie. I feel for the indie scene when it comes to the big screen, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe Cocaine Bear is indie. I believe Winnie the Pooh is indie, and we're gonna get a lot more fun indie. Like we're gonna get a lot more of these fun indie horror movies, and we're also gonna get a lot more of those good indie horror movies. I mean, the slashers, the gore, but we're also gonna get those good stories and all that other stuff. And I think it's great. It's refreshing. And it's something that we all want to see. It's like, yes, because it's literal fans. And I'm not saying that people in Hollywood and all that aren't fans of the genre they're working on, but I'd say indie more so, because it's like our fan films more so, because from my understanding, they're not making money off of them. And if they are, they're not making a lot. From a fan, I mean, I don't mean like the Friday the 13th fan films. I know they can't make money off of those properties, but just in general, just their films, their ideas, their creations. And it's cool to see them get to the big screen, get what they deserve, and all that other great stuff. So that was just, people go see Cocaine Bear. I'm still on that run, and I know this has nothing to do with horror, but I watched.
It does. It's a slasher. Cocaine Bear is a slasher.
No, what I'm about to say right here.
Oh, sorry.
Here, Cocaine Bear is a horror movie. Indiana Jones is not, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, you guys, I told you guys how I felt about the first two movies, 3 and 4. I didn't like those either, at all. And actually, during my podcast, I was telling people, if you did not go see Cocaine Bear in theaters and you have the opportunity, meaning financially, because I'll never financially shame you. If you can financially go see the movie, you can afford to go see the movie. If the movie's playing by you, if you're a horror fan, I'm not saying you're not a horror fan if you haven't seen this movie. I'm never gonna be one of those clowns. But if you are a horror fan, more so a horror comedy fan, go see this. Go see it in theaters, because this is just one of those films that is just, I mean, you could say with any movie, it's better seeing it in theaters, but this is one of those films where it's just a good time to go see in theaters. Like, it's one of those films to where when the whole theater's laughing, it feels right. When the whole theater's cheering or whatever, it feels right. Not talking through the movie, don't get me wrong, I don't mean that. But there's just certain films you go, like the cheering, you get it with this film. Like, there was a kill, so I can talk about it now. Spoiler alert, people. Spoiler alert. So remember where the bear slices the guy's stomach open and his guts are falling out? Yo, I wanted to laugh, but there was a guy sitting like 5-6 rows ahead of me that was laughing so hard, so loud at that scene for about 5 minutes. And I wanted to laugh, but I'm just like I was laughing, but not loud like that. I was just like, all right, Aaron, keep it together. You just seen this laugh, like, keep it together. You can get through this. But but again, just stuff like that I enjoy, because that's somebody really enjoying the movie and enjoying a movie like that. Like, it's not don't get me wrong, Cocaine Bear is no masterpiece. It's no, oh my goodness, that movie changed, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not changing history or anything like that. Actually, no, I take that back. For indie movies and stuff like that, it may change history for indie movies like that. But as far as like that, just that movie, like, oh my God, like the story, the tone, it's not like a Midsommar, which is a different type of film, but you know what I mean? It's not like one of those, or the Hereditaries and all those other films, but it's just a great freaking time. Like this, I feel like if this movie came out in the summer, this could be I could be just talking stuff, but I feel like this movie could be a summer blockbuster with the hype, the build-up, and what I'm hoping for a sequel 1, and I'm hoping we hear about a sequel 2 within the next, I'll say by summer, if not a little bit after summer. I'm hoping I don't care if it doesn't come out until next year, because I want the hype around this to I don't want it to die out, and I want it to go into part 2. And really, it's just a great thing to see, man. It's just a great, fun thing to see, and I was so happy to see how many people came out to support that movie. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then again, to hear from you how many people went out to support that freaking movie, that's because here's the thing. We know for a fact next weekend for Scream 6, more than likely, there's going to be a lot of people in those theaters. More than likely, because there's diehard Scream fans that have been, you know what I mean? They've been going to the theaters. I'm sure I know you exactly. You've been going to the theaters since the first movie. Every single time a Scream movie comes out, and I love and respect that so much.
I'm going to see it 3 times next weekend.
Oh, see what I mean?
Like, if it's good Thursday, I'm going to be begging my daughter to just turn around and go watch it again.
I love that you said that.
It's my Star Wars. Like, I tried to explain that to somebody. Like, this is the franchise I get stoked about.
And I mean, just because somebody else, I'll say rightfully so, because that's just your thing. That's your thing that you love going to it. And I hope you do go see it 3 times. I mean, the reason why I say that is because if you go see it 3 times, that means you enjoyed yourself in the theater. That means you had, no matter what anyone else thinks of the movie, that means you had a great time. You and your daughter had a great time going to watch this movie. And I'm sure making beautiful memories and all that great stuff. But, you know, you're going, I don't want to say more importantly, because time with your daughter is great. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. But if the movie sucks, you're just like, like it kind of takes away from that beautiful moment. Yes, you'll find other ways to make that moment fun and funny. I know it. But there's still that thing where it's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this movie. Again, for you, for Scream 6, and then say you go in there, you hear all the hype about it, that's just a big letdown. I hope that doesn't happen for you. But if one of those versus, you know what I mean? It's just like, But so I hope you do get to go see it 3 times. Like, I love when people say I got to go see this movie 2-3 times. And for those of you that don't understand it, it's just something. It's, again, like, I went to go see Cocaine Bear twice. It's not the best movie in the world, but it was just a great time. Like, if a movie gives you that feeling of a great fun time, whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I would definitely come see this again. And if you could do it, I say do it. And either, if you can, go with somebody new, maybe. You know, go with a friend that hasn't seen it. It's like, oh man, I don't know. It's like, yo, come on, just come watch the movie, man. You're gonna enjoy it. And even if you what.
So why I was getting ready to watch Cocaine Bear, we got the trailers, and I knew this movie was coming, and I thought the pictures of this actor in this role looked very stupid. So I never clicked on the trailer, but I saw the trailer for Renfield, and holy crap, it looks awesome. Nicolas Cage plays Dracula. Oh, I'm all in.
I'm not. But again, my lovely friends, you guys know how I feel about Nicolas Cage, so I am going to see the movie in theaters. I am not paying for it. My wife is paying for it. And I know what you people say. Listen. I know what everybody says. Oh, the money goes into the same account. Listen, we have a Billy account. We have our separate accounts too. So if you want to get stuff and all that other fun stuff, yeah, that's coming out of her account. It coming out of mine.
It doesn't look like Nicolas Cage is going to be the main character. It looks more like a Nicholas Holtz movie. But dude, in that makeup, he just Nicolas Cage is an Academy Award-winning actor. Like, nobody could take that away from him. But recently, he definitely plays up to the Nicolas Cage personality and everything. And I don't know, man. This trailer was funny. I laughed a lot, and I can't wait. Like, this is something I didn't think I needed to see, but now I kind of can't miss it.
See, here it is with me, man. It's like, it's something. The only reason why I have to see it is because I'm gonna have to review it. Because, like I said, everybody that knows 30 does not like Nicolas Cage, but they also know that when it comes time to reviewing movies, whatever's on the wheel or whatever we decide or agree on, we're gonna review. And I'm just like, I already know when that comes out, we'll be reviewing that within the following week or something, or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and you're more than welcome to join that episode when it does happen, Jason, because that's gonna be a rough one for me. I already know it. Like, it's just, you guys will see. I won't even talk about my Cage rage on here. You guys will see when that episode comes. All I will say is, he just has one of those faces, voices, just everything. We all have those people that you just like, oh my gosh. It's like if you have that one person, you know, you go to it could be a family gathering, a friend gathering, and there's that one person you know is going to be there, and you're just like, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. I don't want to see him, hear him, smell him. I don't mean that in a weird way. Nothing.
The good news for you is that Cage says the movie is not really about Dracula, and he doesn't have a lot of screen time.
That's good news. The bad news is he's talking about he wants to do a prequel to that where he's playing Dracula, from what I've heard. There's that, and then he's doing another. He's gonna be. I mean, it doesn't even matter what genre of movie he does anymore, because I have a horror show and a non-horror show. But he's doing another horror movie. I forgot what it's called, and I already know that's gonna have to be reviewed. So yeah, all you guys that want to come on there could be 10 of us total. That's all I'm saying. There could be 10 of us total, including myself, my co-host. So we're gonna make a night of it. I'm going to have as much fun as I can.
All right, Sturdy. So Hollywood makes a mandate that Nicolas Cage has to be in every horror movie. Do you rethink your love of the genre and move on, or
There's gonna be some some tough decisions.
some internal battles?
Yeah, but I'm still gonna watch horror and indie. You already know how I feel about you. You guys, we're moving up even more, and I love indie. Don't take anything with that. I actually want to work with indie more. We do as well on here. By the way, if you guys have indie horror movies and all that stuff, we do want to interview you guys on here because, hey, we love your work. You guys do some.
Yeah, I need to reach out to the Never Hike Alone guys because I would love to get them on here and talk to them because they've single-handedly kept the Friday the 13th torch like blowing.
There's other indie Friday, which I'll talk to you off camera too because I got a couple of connections that I can get on for some interviews for us because it'd be fun.
Yeah, Voorhees is really good too. Or Vengeance, sorry, not Voorhees, Vengeance.
Yeah, Vengeance. There is a Voorhees movie. I didn't see it yet. Did I? No, there's Vengeance 2, Roseblood 1 and 2. Like I'm cool with the dude who's connected with that. Peter.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna get some interviews on here, people. We're gonna get some interviews on here. Now, the Dead by Daylight is making a movie.
Our favorite studio, Blumhouse. Well, my favorite studio, Blumhouse.
Nice. Oh, it is with Blum. I don't know how that's going to work. Am I going to watch it? Of course. But just have you ever played the game?
No, it's on my Xbox to play though. Currently, we're playing through The Quarry, which is a really good horror game.
Nice. Yeah, I have that as well. Me and my brother and my boy Matt were playing that. What I was having, see with that game, I like how it's like a movie / game.
It's more a movie than a game. All you really do is just control the story.
Yep. Same. There's a game similar to that. You can control a little. You can control more though, a little more, but it's similar to that. It's called what is it? The Dark Picture Anthologies. Yeah,
we played through 2 of those stories so far.
I think I played through 2, maybe 3. I want to finish those though. Those were fun. And what I liked about those more than The Quarry is like when you're playing multiplayer, all of you are controlling a certain point. You know what I mean? Like there's certain points in that game to where, say if me and you are playing it together, we're doing the same story, but you may be in a different part of the room or a different part of the house doing something. I'm doing something, but it connects to where if I mess up on my end or do something on my end, you do something on your end, somebody dies. It's a fun game, though. Fun game. But yeah, with the Dead by Daylight, I'm wondering how they're gonna make that work. Just because the way the gameplay is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the same time, I guess they could do something though. They could do something because basically, this is a very simplified, brief description of it. Is you're trying to unlock these generators to escape them. From what I remember, I haven't played the game in years. And there's this monster or whatever, which as you know, they have don't they have Ghostface in there now? I think Leather.
I think
a few other horror icons in there. But it's just, I think if the gameplay was more similar to like Evil Dead or Friday the 13th, with the fighting and being able to defend yourself, I'd enjoy it more. But it's just it's not my thing. But I do want to check the movie out. Just to see how it is. I'm still waiting to see the Killer Clowns game. I haven't heard anything about it this year yet. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, seen gameplay for it from last year, and it looked great. It looked fun. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. But come on. Hurry up with that. But what are your thoughts? Well, you've never played the game before, so I guess it'll be kind of tougher.
I mean, anytime they announce something horror, and especially if Blumhouse is attached, that's all I need to know. I'm already sold on the project. Okay. Because there's going to be some level of entertainment. Whether it's funny, it's cheesy, or it's legitimately good, like Black Phone was last year, they got me.
And then I have another game. It's called Gray Hill Incident. I don't know what the game's called. Gray Hill Incident brings 90s alien horror to PS4, PS5 on June 9th. This was something that my guy, shout out to you, Kelvin, posted in my horror group, and I'm all for it. As a matter of fact. Can I share my screen really quick?
Yeah.
Share screen.
Pop that up.
Yeah, this right here. And you see, I mean, it looks just like the typical 90s aliens or whatever. But I'd play something like this. This is probably gonna be something that's gonna be fun. And I'm just like, you know what? Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Like the more horror, the better. I'm loving that. I'm loving the direction horror is going as far as like we're getting more movies, we're getting more shows, and we're getting more video games. Like we're getting more video games, and I think that is just awesomely fun, phenomenal, all that good stuff. I'm super excited for it. And like that's honestly, horror is my favorite genre across the board. It's my favorite genre of video game, my favorite genre of movie, show. It's just that. It's just that. And it feels good to finally say that as far as games go, because I'm not saying that there wasn't always good horror games, but now we have so many more. We have so many more. And we're getting so many more. And I just there's cross-platform games, Jason. Maybe we got to start talking. Like, okay, so what games do we both have that are cross-platform and all that good stuff? Because I feel like the Scary Snobs can start gaming together, and I stream when I game. So I'm just saying, man, it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
It would be, and people always say, more of something isn't necessarily better, but as long as they keep being to the quality that most of them have been, keep giving us more, because more is on a high right now.
See, I get the whole quantity over quality thing. I agree with that, but there's still some of those quantity things that are just fun. And like, I mean, I love playing, for example, World War Z and Zombie Army 4 are probably two of the games I play the most with my brother Henry, my boy Matt, and I believe they're both cross-platform. Oh, Evil Dead as well. I believe all three are cross-platform. I believe I'll have to look into that. But they're just fun games. They're fun multiplayer games, co-op or whatever, and you just have a great time.
Which consoles do you have?
P4.
Okay, I have the 5. And I have a 1 also.
We have a 5 here as well, but I mainly I play and stream on the P4. The P5 is the wife's. I can yes, I can use it, people. I can use it when I want to, but I just all my games are on the PS4. So it's like there's no, you know what I mean? When I get my own P5 and all, it'll be a different story. But all my games that I play are on my PS4. And yes, I know I can bring my hard drive over and do all that other stuff, but I'm all set up already. I'm like, for what? I don't want to unhook her PlayStation to bring it up for a couple hours to play it, to stream it, just to bring it back down when I can, But you said you have the P5 and the Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just downloaded Evil Dead on the PlayStation 5 yesterday.
Oh, it's have you tried it?
Yeah, I've played it before. I rented it once from the library and checked it out.
I believe it's free now, right?
Yeah, on the PlayStation Plus.
So if you have PlayStation Plus, I should download it. I think it's hard to download. If you have PlayStation Plus, people, download the Evil Dead the game. It's a fun game. It's a really fun freaking game.
Yeah, it's got elements like Friday the 13th, but it's also got story mode, a one-player mode. So yeah, definitely check it out, guys. But I pulled this up, and we're going to talk about it because I kind of want to get your take on this list. So I pulled up Rotten Tomatoes' top 40 horror films. I think they're going mostly by the critic scores, and I want to hear what you think of the top 10. So at number 10, we have a movie called Audition, which I have not seen.
Can you share the list on the screen?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I seen that. That Audition was awesome too. I actually reviewed that a year or two ago.
Number 9, The Sixth Sense. That's a good movie. For some reason, I know it is. Like I get it, but I never associate that movie with horror. I need to revisit it, but for some reason, it just never crosses my mind as a horror movie.
I think because it's not. You don't really. I haven't seen it in so long. Maybe it's because you haven't seen it, or not because you haven't seen it. Nobody ever really found it scary. Well, I've never found it scary ever.
There's one sequence in the tent when the little girl is vomiting that is creepy in that movie. That's the only thing I remember being like.
But I haven't seen it in so long though, so I couldn't even. Well, now what's this list again? Really quick before we.
It's Rotten Tomatoes is top 40.
Top 40 of all time.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the top 10, and we'll be here forever.
Okay.
Number 8, Blair Witch Project. I hate this movie so much. I don't think you should want to kill the lead of the movie by the end of it when you're watching it, because I was rooting for the witch at that point. Like, yeah, get her.
See, and it's funny you say that though, because I'm the type of person, I love horror so much. I'm always most of the time, not always, but most of the time, I'm rooting for the villain. So I get it, but I really love that movie. I know a lot of people don't. And the funny thing is, Jason, my first time seeing it was maybe 3-4 years ago now, and I just loved it. I loved it, and I seen it again for the second time a couple months ago now.
I should revisit it. I've only seen it once, and it was 20 years ago that I saw it. But I just remember the lead being so obnoxious. Like, I watched the third one that came out recently. That's still the found footage style movie that the first one was, and I liked that one quite a bit. So maybe if I go back and watch the first one, I'll enjoy it more. But man, that lady, by the end of that movie had me so annoyed that I was ready for that witch to get her vengeance.
And as far as top 40 of all time, like, I don't know if I can ever do a top list like that of my favorite, because it's tough. I'm more of like a whatever I feel like watching type of deal, or shoot, now because I podcast so much, it's like, okay, what I got to review for the pod type of deal. And it doesn't take my enjoyment out of the films. It's just, it's hard. I don't know if I can honestly make like a top 40, top 100 list, but I do disagree with this one so far. As crazy as that sounds.
So far, none of these movies would be in my top 10, but I get some of them. Tremors, fun movie. I don't think of it as horror, but it totally does fit the horror genre. It's a fun movie. Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Michael Gross. Like, I'm in. Like, this movie was so much fun. I've even liked all the cheesy sequels.
I have yet to watch these movies, honestly. I've been meaning to, and I've never watched those. So I do want to see them. There was a little series too, wasn't there, for a little bit on Netflix?
Yeah. There was a TV series, and they were talking about doing it again, but it got canceled. This one I need to see because I really like Peter Jackson, especially when he did his little horror bits like The Frighteners. So yeah, Dead Alive is a movie that I need to check out.
Listen, Dead Alive. Some people don't count. What is it called? The Sadness as a zombie movie. It says zombie film on the front. I'll tell you like this. Dead Alive was thanks to my brother Henry, was my favorite zombie. No, it was no, I'm lying. It was my second favorite. What was the other one? Shoot. Anyway, this one is a really good gore, fun. It's a horror comedy, fun gore fest. You're gonna love it. You're gonna enjoy it. Definitely. As soon as you can check it out, I say check it out. Enjoy it. I don't know, because I don't know what you would allow your daughter to watch. I'd say watch it first, and then see if you would allow her to watch it. Because I don't, you know what I mean. I don't know what you allow her to watch. There, it is.
I'd probably let her watch it.
I don't think there's nudity in it. Not that I can remember. Maybe some zombie titties or something weird like that. But I haven't seen it in a couple of years. But it's a great freaking fun time.
Here's another one that I haven't even heard of. Kronos.
No, I've never seen.
Guillermo del Toro with Ron Perlman. Synopsis: antique dealer Jesus Grease stumbles across Kronos, a 400-year-old scarab that, when it latches onto him, grants him more. Grants him what? What does he grant him? You must know. Oh, doesn't take me there. Okay, whatever. Well, I want to check this out because I love Guillermo del Toro quite a bit. And I like Ron Perlman with Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, definitely.
This next one surprises me. This wouldn't even be in my top 50. No, this is not the next one. I think it's number 3 that surprised me. Okay, this one absolutely. Misery. You could probably make an argument for me to put Misery in a top 10 because this movie is good. It's creepy.
Here's another thing about like a top 10 list, because like I think an easier way to do it would be I mean, if you're breaking it down by the genre, the horror genre is the era that it came out as well. Maybe the top 10 for that era, because it's hard to spread it out for me. And honestly, not even for top 10 for movies, for anything. It's hard to spread it out because with everything, the rules change. With sports,
Absolutely.
The rules change. I mean, people are just different. You're built different. Like back in the day, say for example, back in the day when our parents were kids, people were, just different food and all this other stuff. Everything else, different technology, different intelligence as far as how to take care of the body versus us, or when down the line when our children have children and all this other stuff. Same thing, and I feel like it's the same with movies as far as technology, ideas, writing. I'm not going to say it's always going to be better, but you can at least say at the very least the tech will be better.
So, yeah, and it's hard to compare. Like I'm a huge hip hop fan. Hip hop is my number one genre of music. And people like to make top 5 lists and then fight about it. But it's really hard to compare Eminem to like Run DMC. Like their styles are completely different. The eras they came from were completely different. Any of the new hip hop artists that use, techniques and they really think about their lyrics, of course they're going to beat out a lot of the older people because it's different and you can't compare that. It's not fair to the artist. It's like trying to compare Ice Cube to Logic. There's no logic in that at all because they're from 2 different eras and the style of hip hop is different. So Ice Cube for his time is definitely top 5, but is he top 5 of all time? No, but that's not fair to compare. And same thing with some of these movies. It's not fair to compare because, there's so many factors that go into why something was that way at the time. And then to compare it to something now where it's so in the moment that you can relate to it maybe a little bit more. It's not fair.
And that's what it is too. Just like as far as movies go, just the era, like what the way they're looking, talking, acting in the movie, certain things they say, certain lingo. And you can say again, you can relate that with music, but it's just different. It's just different. So it's tough. I don't mind looking at people's top 10 lists and all that stuff. I am going to be doing, which I got to start working on it. The way I'm doing mine is, so I'm doing one for, top of the year and all that stuff, like movies that I've seen. So it's more so of what I've seen this year and all that other fun stuff, and monthly. So I got to do my January, February ones still. I know I'm going to work on that though, guys. And that way I'll know like what's my top 13 by the end of the year. Yes, I'm doing 13 because horror. So,
I like to look at lists when we do these shows because it gives us an excuse to talk about certain movies that maybe we wouldn't bring up. But Misery, absolutely.
On top of it too, it makes you check out like how we both said that the 2 movies on the Chronos and what was the other one I said I didn't see? That
you said you hadn't seen Tremors. I hadn't seen Dead Alive, Chronos, or Audition.
So boom, that right there. Oh shoot, we should let's check these out and maybe bring them up another time. Just this, not necessarily review, but hey, this is how I felt about this movie. Blah 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 blah. You guys should go check it out.
And here's another one that wouldn't even cross my mind to put on this list, and that is Arachnophobia. I like this movie quite a bit, but I would never have thought like to put this on, let alone a horror list, which again, it fits the criteria to be a horror comedy, but it would never have crossed my mind to, Arachnophobia. Let's put it on a top 10 horror list.
And again, fun movie. I haven't seen it in years, but it's tough to make these lists, man. I can definitely say that because you have so many different opinions. Everybody, like, you might as well just make your favorite movie list. Like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be the top because it's your favorite movie list. If you have your favorites, that's basically what it is. It's one of those type of deals. It's tough to make a top list. I'm not saying it's impossible, because again, everybody's opinions are different. And that makes it. And I know people say, well, this movie sold this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily make it the best.
No, it doesn't necessarily mean quality.
No, it was popular when it came out. It was super popular. It was this, that, and it'd be like just because I'm not bashing it yet. I'm not. I promise you, Jason. But let's just say Scream 6 is a flop next weekend. I'm not saying it's going to be, but as far as let's say it does good in the box office for the first week and then it just drops, kind of like how Ant-Man did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things which we see it with movies all the time. It's like, oh my God, this movie's out. Oh wow, it's coming out, blah blah blah. Oh, it's a sequel to this. Oh, let's all go see it. And you go see it. Everybody goes and see it, and you're just like, oh my goodness. Yes, this movie made millions and millions this weekend, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. So that's why that's why I say it's more of an opinionated thing. Like however you feel, I guess there's really no wrong answers to these.
No, absolutely. And like we just said, looking at these lists is it's a good way to get ideas of movies you should check out, which is what I do. And this number 2, like again, I wouldn't think to put Silence of the Lambs on a horror list.
Yes and no, I guess. I get that's one of those ones that's kind of in the middle. I can see why people would put it on there. I understand why it's on there, and I do understand why it's high. Again, if I were to create a list, which again I keep saying the same stuff, it wouldn't be on my top 10 list, and that not necessarily because it's not a good movie, but when I think of a top 10 list for myself, right, I think of movies that I would go back to and watch. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, I would love to go back and sit down and watch this movie again. And I don't even mean like the Friday the 13th, not the ones that I watch all the time, but those one movie that are just like, yo, that was so good. I want to go. I need to go back and watch that, or whatever the case may be. And then it changes because you're like, oh wow, I seen this. Ooh, this is dope. This is super dope.
Mm-hmm. And then number 1, yeah, I could get this on my top 10 because they're rating the original, the Japanese version, which is Ringu. But you could convince me to put either one. Like the American one was actually a really solid remake of the original film, and that original film is creepy.
See, now the original one, the Ringu, I want to see that. Like I've been meaning to for a while and just haven't yet. So I'm gonna have to end up throwing it on one of my wheels to review it so that I do watch it. Because I love foreign horror. I love slasher is my all-time favorite, but there's just something about a foreign horror film. You're just like, especially like the no disrespect because I'm not sure what to call it, but the Asian films, they just take it to a level that is like, oh my goodness, from children to adult. You're like, oh my goodness, just the things they do, they take it to that level. And especially when it's actually, I can't even say that because with Audition, you have some gore. Yeah, just with any subgenre of horror, I love it. I freaking love it. So I'm like, I got it. I have to see the real version of it, so to speak, because the remake was not bad at all. I just haven't seen it in so long, and I feel that the other one's gonna be scary. Would probably be scarier.
Well, there's something like with the closed captions because you have to read as you're watching the movie. Something about that draws you into the movie further because it's you in that movie because you have to pay attention. Like you can't look away or you'll miss dialogue or maybe something important. Like Ju-on released a series on Netflix that I really want to watch, but I don't want to watch it with the English dubs because no offense, but English dubs usually suck. So I've been waiting to watch it, but I know I don't have that time to devote all of my attention to something without being able to be distracted here and there. And I don't want to be distracted watching a film like this because I want to actually be invested in what's going on.
You know what I do want to say too, yo, is like back to what you just said with the whole subtitles and everything. I remember there was a time I wasn't a huge fan of it. Excuse me. Just because I was so used to the dubbing thing, and not that it was great because the dubbing would be funny, but because I was so used to it, and with the dub thing, I guess because what you just said as far as like having to work on things, like if you're doing something in the background, if you're editing a show, whatever you have to do, if you're doing that in the background, then it's like it's easier to listen to what you're watching. You know what I mean? Like do the watch listen type of deal. You hear something like, oh, now because I understand what they're saying. I need to pop up and pay attention to this part. I can hear this part, but I need to really just focus, pay attention to this part, and then go back to doing what you're doing. Versus if it's in another language, you're just like, all right, I gotta watch this whole thing, which isn't a bad thing, and it does have you a little more focused because you're wondering what they're saying and all that. But I love the ones to where, yes, you're reading the subtitles, but the way they're telling the story and all that other stuff, you don't really necessarily need the subtitles. Like you kind of just from the way it's visually told, the way that they're at, just all that stuff. Even the way the music is, like the cinematography tells a lot, the acting tells a lot, but the music tells a lot. And it's just like, oh, wow, like I can really feel this, understand the emotion and what's going on without understanding the language. And it's just, it's just something. It's just, I don't know what it is, but I love it. I love it. It's like, honestly, it's just like reading. It's almost like reading. It's like reading a book with the story playing out in front of you. You know, sometimes you lay down to read and you can kind of picture things going on in your mind. It's almost like that with subtitles to an extent, I guess, to an extent. But I really, really, really enjoy it. And honestly, for those that don't enjoy subtitles, say if it's just because you don't feel like reading or you feel like you're reading too slow, understandable. That's fine. I'd say just practice with English ones. Like just put closed captioning on and just kind of just get used to reading on the screen. So once you get used to reading on the screen while the movies are going on, you'll go to that. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of foreign films in the horror genre that, especially if it's the original of something that's an American remake, it's gonna blow the remake out of the freaking water.
The Grudge and Ju-On is a good example of that because I did not like the Grudge movies, but I really like the original films.
And I'm just telling you, it's. I'm gonna tell you guys this really quick too, non-horror, but my favorite action movies, and I just seen these last year. The Raid 1 and 2. If you haven't seen those, and you into action movies, go see those. Go see those because the combat in that is freaking beautiful. Hand-to-hand combat, swords, all that stuff, and that's all I'm gonna say. Go see it.
I one last story on my end, and that is that Alien is getting a new film. It's directed and written by Fede Alvarez. If you don't know who that is, he did the Evil Dead remake, which was fantastic, and he did the movie Don't Breathe, which again is also fantastic. So he's doing the new Alien movie produced by Ridley Scott, and they just updated some cast members recently. So I didn't know this was coming. I didn't know it was going to be done by Fede Alvarez, but I am all in on a new Alien movie.
I'm in on that, and I'm not going to act like I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise. I haven't really watched them, but I'm in, and especially with what you just said, the movie that he did. I want to see that. I want to see that. Hopefully, it comes to theater. I won't be mad if it goes to streaming. Hopefully, it comes to theater. And really quick, did you watch Prey from that came out last year?
I have not. I want to. I've heard it's really good.
It was. And so was Hellraiser wasn't bad either, to be honest with you.
I like that quite a bit too.
That wasn't bad at all, to be honest. I actually enjoyed that more than the last few that I've seen.
The last Hellraiser is a series that is great and then awful.
You know what it is with franchises though? I think especially in horror, even the movies that we freaking love, they have like this, it goes like, it's like waves. It's like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you're a fan of it, you just go with it. Like Friday the 13th, I know for a fact that franchise, the whole franchise in general, the movies aren't the best in the world. I love them though, especially there's certain months I love more than others, of course. And the way that franchise goes up, down, up, down, I just love the entire franchise as like a whole, like overall, a whole. I have more love than complaints for that.
Because the franchise is very like they stick to what they know well, and that's why I like Friday the 13th so much.
Yes.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street, they change the rules with every movie that Freddy's allowed to do.
But it's still fun. But like
absolutely.
I enjoy that as well. Halloween, I enjoy that as well. But Hellraiser, I mean, you know what though? Hellraiser, I didn't see until my adult life. My wife actually introduced me to that.
Me too.
Back, and it's like. The killing and stuff, the blood, it was cool. I never really got into those movies. I tried. We watched them all too, I believe. If we didn't watch them all, we watched most of them at the time. Like that's another thing I love doing. If I know a movie has a horror movie, especially I know it has a franchise, and I'm like, okay, we started with one, might as well go through them. Which, real quick, I was working on the Horror Research 30, my co-host James. We were working on it was like I think it was like 50 horror movies you should see or something. I forgot what the list was. It was a few years ago. And we were like, okay, let's work on this list. This is before I made the wheel and all that, right? Not the actual wheel, people. I did not do that. I wasn't alive back then. I'm talking about the wheel on my show. But no, we'd go through these movies, right? And then we would get to certain movies, like for example, Slumber Party Massacre. That has 3 movies. So like, oh shoot, let's watch all 3. What's the other movie? The Dentist or something like that? Let's watch both of those. Like there's just like when we hit movies that we found out had sequels, like okay, let's. So we never got through that top 50 list. We did about 30 movies. We did about 30 or 40 episodes, but it was okay. We did the list, and then oh man, this movie has sequels. Oh, I gotta watch it. There's something about sequels though, yo, that it's just it could even be a horrible horror franchise, and I'm like, oh wow, this has a sequel.
Yeah,
I have to watch it for whatever reason. For what
completionist, man. I watched all of the Sometimes They Come Back movies. Sometimes They Come Back, the first one I really like. It's one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. And then there's like Sometimes They Come Back Again, and then Sometimes They Come Back Always or something. I've seen them all. They're awful, but I've seen them all. And Children of the Corn, I went pretty far in my Children of the Corn binge. I think I made it to 5, and then I had to stop. I had to take a break because they started to get really bad. And then Hellraiser, I made it to 5, and I found 5 really, really boring. I think it was 5 that I found boring.
Speaking of which, I do have 2. So there's an Untitled Pet Cemetery project coming out. It's supposed to be a prequel.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I am too. I really like the Pet Cemetery movies.
I'm going to go in there with low expectations the best way I can, but I'm excited for that. The wife told me about that the other day. I just remembered that. So that's going to be another... Again, man, and this is what I'm talking about, though. This is what I'm so excited about is horror is really just... Like, we had a really good year in horror last year, and I feel like we're having a good year, and it's only March. We're having a good year so far, and it's only freaking March. Like, you figure... Megan came out in January, right? Cocaine February. Like, for me, those might be the movies of the month for the months that they came out. I may have to go back over and look. March, Scream coming out. Early March at that. Not sure what else, but just the first 3 months, you're getting these movies. And March. Scream is going to do well in theaters. No matter how I feel about it, Scream is going to do well in theaters. I already know that. So that, and I think that's awesome. Like, I'm happy we're getting this. I hope that I hope this continues. Like, I really hope this continues and just builds. I hope that every single year of horror gets better and better and better for the theater watches. And honestly, my biggest reason is because we go there and spend our hard-earned money on that. Like, I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on going to a theater and getting disappointed. I don't want to spend my hard-earned money going to a theater and be like, oh man, this movie was just horrible. For all that, I can watch it at home. I don't mind watching bad movies at home. I love watching bad movies at home. If I enjoy, you know what I mean? Of course, if you enjoy the movie. I don't want to watch a bad movie in the theaters. I do not want to spend, unless they're going to listen, theaters, if you're going to put bad movies out, knock them ticket prices down. $5 for a bad movie. I'll go watch it every single time. Well, no, that one, I'll go watch it. But no, seriously, like I'm so happy that these horror movies are coming out more. I'm happy that Children of the Corn's another one.
Yeah, it just came out this
weekend. Yeah.
I kind of want to see it. Evil Dead Rise is out this year. We've got a new Saw movie out this year.
So Evil Dead Rise, I believe that's coming out in April.
Yeah.
So January Meg, February Cocaine Bear, March Scream, April Evil Dead Rises. That's the first quarter. That's the first quarter. Now, if Scream and Evil Dead Rises are good and do good, that's going to be really, really good starting the year off for horror. Like, that's really, really, in my opinion, that's really good. I'm not sitting here saying that Cocaine Bear made, I don't even know how much money that movie made. Last I checked, it was like 24, 25 mil, I believe.
Yeah, Scream 7 will be out next year. I'm sure of it if Scream does well. But we've also had Infinity Pool this year. Yes. We have a Ghost, Knock at the Cabin, the movie Missing, which I really want to see because I like those computer screen movies that they make. I find them to be fascinating. We have a Ghost just came out on Netflix, horror comedy. Yes. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey came out this year.
Yes, that was another one. Listen, people, I'm telling you, the horror is really doing its thing. It's really doing its thing. And I know Hulu has some sneaky things on there for horror. I can't think of what, but I know they do pretty good around like the holidays and stuff. There's fun holiday horror content and like holiday originals at that. I love when these streaming platforms do their originals and they're actually really good. Like Shudder does some pretty good originals as well. And if you guys don't have that, check it out. check it out because there's some stuff on there. Shudder. I wish there was one app. I wish there was one app though, one horror app that had every freaking horror movie on there. That's all I would need, honestly.
I wish that there was just one service where I could add all my services to. Like, you know how Amazon will let you stack services on so you can just search in one spot? I wish that they could put like Netflix and everything on Amazon also, so we could just purchase it and then have it with the rest of our stuff. Because I was literally paying less for HBO on Hulu, but I canceled that and moved it over to Amazon because I like having it all in one place. And with Hulu, the HBO Max stuff wasn't even on the Hulu interface. You had to go to a separate app. And I'm like, screw this. I moved everything over to Amazon because I like that one spot where everything is.
Yeah, you just go, okay, boom, right here. Boom, right here. Boom, right here. And on top of that, with the Amazon thing, because I did this on accident once. What was it with what was one of those apps that connects with Amazon? I didn't have it connected with Amazon or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had it in her name. So I connected something with Amazon. And I was like, oh man, I got it. It was one of those free trial things. That's what it was. I was like, I'm gonna cancel this. I just need to watch these 3 movies. I'm gonna cancel this tomorrow or whatever type of deal.
I do that all the time.
But yeah, that does help when it's like, okay. The only reason I don't do it too much now though is because I do need the other apps for when I do my watch parties for the stream launch thing I talk about. Because you have to have those specific apps. They're not connected with Amazon yet, just because. Well, I think it's because Amazon can connect with so many different things, with so many different,
Yeah. So, you got anything else on your end for today?
Watch more horror, people. Watch more horror. If you have not seen Cocaine Bear, you need to go see that. Seriously, go see Cocaine Bear. And I think what I'm going to try to do is certain movies that I just am thrilled about and all about, or just had a great time with horror movies. I'm going to just tell you guys to go. I'm going to remind you guys on here and on my other platforms. Go on my platforms, I should say. Go watch that. And Cocaine Bear is one of those ones you should go see for sure. And just have a good time with it. Enjoy it. Who did you go see Cocaine Bear with, by the way?
I went and saw it with Max from 3 Geeks and Justin from 3 Geeks.
Nice.
And then the boy and Max's wife.
Nice. Because that's such a great time, man. Such a great time. Such a great freaking time. But yeah, go watch Cocaine Bear if you haven't seen it. And The Last of Us. Are you caught up on that?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yo, all right. Can we talk about that for a few minutes?
Of course.
Man, so I finally, so for those of you who do join and watch my watch parties, I will be back Wednesday for episode 8 of The Last of Us, but I finally got caught up Friday. Man, and I actually did, me and the wife did back-to-back episodes because behind and just, crap, whatever. I'm just like, wow. I just watched these 2 episodes of a back-to-back, and what I'm realizing with The Last of Us, they always have, I feel like it's like every other week they have an episode that people complain about, and I'm like, what are you complaining for? What are you upset about? I haven't seen a bad episode yet. These episodes,
homophobia. Most of it's been homophobia with the kiss last week, and then episode 3, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I'm just like, but they're such good. You guys are too. What's the word I'm looking for?
Close-minded.
No, not even. I mean, I understand being uncomfortable with certain things. I understand not wanting to see certain. I get it to an extent, but like if that's all you guys are focusing on, then don't even watch the shows because that wasn't what the whole episode was about for either of them. Yes, it's about love and all this other stuff, what was going on, but it's like you're seeing what's going on in these moments and how you're seeing why they are the way they are. Like with Ellie, with episode 7, was it 7? Yeah, episode 6 and 7, but. You kind of 7 because 7 was more of her episode, the flashback and all that.
Yeah, and I believe tonight's the finale, the season finale. Yeah, this show. I said this on 3 Geeks last night. This show is so good at suspense, even though you know the outcome already. Like something happens in episode 7 that you're like, oh my God, even though you know that it's all fine a few years later. but you still are brought into that anxiety and that world at the moment.
I mean, it's done so well. The acting, like I love the cast. I love this show. Honestly, I'm gonna go out and say it right now. This is probably the best horror series I've seen ever.
That's a very good argument you can make. I'm going to let them finish though first, but you can make that argument for sure.
Okay, I'll say as far as this one, and you saying that this is the season finale. So I'll say as far as season 1, because I don't see them dropping the ball with the 8th episode. I don't see them dropping the ball with the season finale.
Yeah.
I won't say it's like the best by far, because there's some really good shows. Like Wednesday's really good. Don't get me wrong. I love Wednesday. I love Stranger Things, but this is just. You know what it is? Because this show here is more mature, and it hits you different because we all care about somebody. There's somebody that we'll all protect, will do whatever for, whether it be your family, friends, whoever, there's somebody you'll protect. And like, I love how her and Joel's relationship, because it's so realistic. It's just like you kind of grow on each other, and it gets to the point where, I mean, the decision when Joel, I won't spoil it yet, but so episode 6, when they get to where they get to, and everything goes from there, and the way the episode 6 ends, when he gives Ellie that choice, and then you see episode 7 and how that, everything that happens with that, the way episode 6 ends, and then how episode 7 starts, and you just see how everything happens with that and the flashbacks, and then just like when the way you see in episode 7, you're hoping that there's like 4 more episodes. I swear. Like that's what I'm really loving about this show, is every single episode I'm seeing, I'm like, I need more. I want more. You go to the next episode, you're not disappointed. You go to the next episode, you're not disappointed. Well, for the most part, those of us who can, who are more open-minded, I guess. Again, I understand being discomfortable. I understand being uncomfortable about certain things and all that. I get it. Whatever. I can respect that, but don't let that overshadow the whole show. Don't let that overshadow the whole episode. The freaking 2-minute kiss. Who cares? People kiss. Turn your head if you don't like it. But just the way the story goes, like, it hits you in the feels. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh shit. Like, it's one of those things, going back to the whole cheering thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just say this. How episode 7 is when it shows Ellie standing by the door and then she opens the door and it goes into her flashback. I thought that was awesome. And then at the same time, they use that same thing at the end of the episode and it goes to the present. And I thought that was even, I'm like, yes. The Last of Us and Cocaine Bear, you guys need to watch.
Last of Us, I agree with you. Last of Us is definitely up there as one of the best horror series of all time. And no matter what happens with how the show ends or what happens going down the road, I can't imagine the show's going to drop off. I think it's going to sustain its quality. This show will be studied for its writing because, like I said, 45 minutes to fall in love with a character is never done. And episode 3 especially that episode is perfection in writing. You fall in love with these two guys. You go through their journey in one episode. Like they take away the main characters that you've been following for 2 episodes, and then they do the smaller story focused on these 2 characters that you just met. And by the end, you felt like you've spent 2 seasons with them. That is just something I've never seen done on TV. It usually takes a while, and sometimes they don't even nail it right through a whole season, let alone an episode. And they do it 3 times in the show already with the 2 brothers. Yes. And Ellie's friend in episode 7.
I was just gonna say that, man. I was like, yo, every single episode where they like introduce these new characters and kind of give you a little backstory, kind of they let you get to know them. You're just like, I like these guys. They give you get a feel for them. You either like them or you hate them. Well, and I love that. And the reason I say that is because it's giving you an emotion. It's giving you a feeling towards, okay, this guy. I'm wondering why they're searching for him, like when they're searching for 2 brothers, for Henry, for example. And then you see why and you get why, but then you also get why he did what he did at the same thing. And yeah, and then the way that ended, like the way these episodes start and end are just phenomenal. They're so smart because they leave you on a cliffhanger every single time. And I miss that with shows. Like and I know some people can, oh, that's just a simple way, but you know what? When they do that, it makes you want to come back. And then it's worth it when you come back. I miss that. And I'm really, 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 I'm going to say it again, really loving really loving that this only drops once a week. I'm really loving how it only drops once a week. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, for one, it's just, it gets you back to that old school thing of going back, like I can't wait till next week to see such and such, whatever. Even if you don't watch it on the day of, if you're recording, watch it the day after or whatever. I can't wait till Wednesday to watch. For me, Wednesday's when I watch it. I can't wait for next Wednesday to watch The Last of Us. I know most people are gonna be watching it tonight, and I'm just excited for it. Like I'm excited every week for it. Versus the binge thing. You get the binge thing done in a few days, then it's over with. Yet the conversation's like that couple of weeks, that maybe that weekend, the first week or two, and then it kind of dies down. With this, people are discussing it every single week, keeping it kind of, you know what I mean? And I think it's weird because I am a binger, but I'm also like, I love the episodic stuff. So I guess, honestly, I wouldn't mind I hope they start doing this more often with HBO Max. I wouldn't even be mad if Netflix did it, say when Stranger Things comes out again. And then because once it's all at the same time, once it's all out, all 8 episodes or 10 episodes or however many weeks they're out, however many episodes they do, once they're all out, they're all out. And if you're someone who wants to just binge it all, you could binge it all. So I feel, yeah. What are your thoughts on that, by the way?
I'm liking the week to week because it helps me stay caught up. I don't feel like I'm behind. Like I need to watch the new season of Barry. I need to watch the last season of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Like there's so many shows that have dropped seasons that I haven't had time to watch because I'm watching all my weekly stuff, and I wish it would fit in with my weekly stuff so I could just plan for it. But I like it because you can assume that most people are caught up on one episode, but you can't assume that somebody's watched a whole season in a week, so it makes talking about it very hard.
Exactly. Yes. And like I've said before, like on my podcast, it's a spoiler show, it's all that, but I try not to, like in posts and all that, and just because I'm like, I'm not gonna do it here. And these conversations, like with The Last of Us, I want to dive deeper into it. But I'm like, you know what? We could wait and say that for another time, just because I know some people are still getting caught up with it. But people, I'm telling you right now, I'm actually thinking about, you know what? I'll say that because I want to talk to you behind the scenes about this really quick.
Okay.
But
and
your thoughts in mind.
We should wrap up now. Sturdy, where can everybody find you online?
HorrorSearch30.com, people. Right there, you can get all of my links. You can go directly to the website. My episodes do drop on there, the audio and the visual. And from there, you can follow me everywhere: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that great stuff. And I'm getting back into the whole TikTok thing, though, people. I dropped 2 videos in the past 2 weeks, but I'm getting back into my whole regular thing of going on out there. And also Popcorn and Pints on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that great stuff. Again, if you go to horrorsearch30.com, you can find those links as well, because I tell you where I'm at. And Jason, where can our lovely listeners find you?
Three Geeks Podcast. We're live every Sunday at 10 a.m. and you guys can find me doing shorts throughout the week on YouTube as well. I've been playing with the 1-minute review formula a little bit. I dropped a review of Chris Rock's stand-up last night and Creed 3, so go check those out. And you can follow me, 3GeeksJ, if you want me personally, see some of the weird selfies I post with the filters that my daughter hates, all that fun stuff. And check out the Scene Snobs. Mick and Casey, they do a great job. They're live every Tuesday at 9 p.m., but that is now exclusive to their Patreon. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check it out live, which I highly recommend you do because they take audience reactions and questions and so forth, join the show and the conversation over on Patreon. But don't worry, if you just can't afford Patreon at this moment, you can listen to the audio feed the next day. They do a great show. They're funny, and I highly recommend it. And I want to thank them again for giving us the shot. Go to thescenesnobs.com. And from Sturdy and I, we're going to say goodbye and enjoy your day.
Peace.
Hey guys, Mick here. Thanks so much for watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back and joining in the comments. But guys, I really want to thank you, our patrons who are out here supporting us, helping us keep the lights on. Really, truly appreciate you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, AJ, George G3, Chris S, Dale, Chris H, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, and John W. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Guys, we have 3 tiers available right now. As of March 1st, we're adding 2 more tiers for a total of 5 with tons of perks. So go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And join our Snob Nation Discord channel where the moderators are keeping everything going and we're having really fun conversations over there and more. So go check it out. It's free to join and just be part of the Snob Nation. And remember to embrace the absurdity. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have tons of great shows coming out and more. Our lives are over on Patreon, but you can check out the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show on our YouTube channel Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and tons more shows coming up thereafter. We have great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, Real Combat, movie reviews, and tons more. We have fun over there, and we think you will too. If you're looking for great merch, go over to the snobsmerch.com store. Use promo code SNOBS for 10% off of your order. We have tons of shirts, mugs, everything, stickers, all different types of designs. We love it. I think you will too. So go check it out and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at The Scene Snobs everywhere. You can also follow Casey at Planos21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. Guys, tons of fun stuff and new things coming out every day, so go check out our content there. Thank you guys again. We are The Scene Snobs. Embrace the absurdity with us, and we love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.